Hi, folks. This is Claire Church and Pete Lewis from the Muse, and we're continuing with our Muse talks. And you can see my cat back there. Everybody wants to be a drummer. We've been checking in with our musician friends to see how they're doing. And you may or may not know this, but for a lot of musicians, they've lost all of their income, especially if they're just players, if they only play for a living. Some of them teach some, and that's been a great thing for folks. All of them that are teaching, of course, have gone to online. So it's a very different time for musicians. And we thought this time it might be interesting. Our friend Josh Quinlan moved down to Costa Rica about 3 years ago. And we have not seen or spoken to him since then, I don't think. So I guess we're not. I mean, I guess we weren't as good of friends as he thought we were. Anyway. So we're happy to see you live from Costa Rica.
Yeah, how you doing?
We're doing as well as can be expected, honestly. I'm teaching online, doing online teaching for 2 high school classes, a college course, the one you used to teach actually, and 4 fifth grades. And also we curated a live music. We curated a stage for a live music festival called Uncanceled last Friday and Saturday. So, and then we're doing, so it's been pretty busy, honestly. I don't feel like much has changed except I'm not driving around. But how are you doing down there?
I'm actually doing pretty well. It's like I was saying to you guys earlier, it's pretty hot here. So we're in the middle of summer. So right now it's like, what time is it? 1:30. So the sun is pounding down, but everything's good. Everything's good. Here's the same as the U.S. We have a really good president here who's 40 years old. So he's very forward thinking, and he's done a really good job of, I don't know, we've been basically in a state of like, I guess you call it lockdown for 3 weeks and 2 days, really. I haven't really been out of the house other than to buy fruits and vegetables and go to the market, things like that. You know what I mean? And, but yeah, so he saw this thing coming. I think he follows, because here we have a lot of influence from the US. So I think he was following kind of some of the models of things that were happening in the US with restaurants and minimum occupancy and stuff like that, or half occupancy, right? And things like that. And so he's closed the borders here, like when the US did. So we haven't had anyone coming in or out of the country for 3 weeks and 2 days, I think. So it's pretty contained here. We have like, they say that we have 500 cases, and here we have 5.2 million people. So
oh my God. Bad. Yeah, that's really good. We are what would probably be called a shit show in the United States. But Colorado is doing a good job, though. Jared Polis is doing a really good job, and Colorado is, showing some leadership. I mean, U.S. is winning. We're winning in numbers of cases by like 4 times. So as usual, we're number 1. Pardon my sarcasm.
So are you having to teach online? Or is this...
Actually, I start next week. So right now we're in Semana Santa, which is the Holy Week, the week before Easter. So this is like typical week of the year where everyone goes to the beach, and everyone's it's a Holy Week, but everyone's at the beach kind of partying or relaxing, I guess you'd say. And but this year is quite different because they closed the beaches, and actually we can't travel. Like today, no one can drive. Today through Sunday, no one can drive. Yesterday, I couldn't drive. When you can drive, you can only drive from 5 to 5.
Wow.
So, but it's really actually, I don't know, it's kind of chill. Like this is really normally a kind of a crazy loud country too, with traffic and everything, and it's just really quiet. You know, I think there's probably crocodiles on the beaches, and the sharks are all coming back, and the whales and everything.
I mean, you can almost feel like the earth healing. At least around here, the air seems fresher, and
that's for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing, in spite of like all the bad things that have happened, just real positive things. Do you see this as this effect going through, even maybe when the pandemic has kind of died off? Do you see what we're doing, people are going to follow through, or is everybody going to go back to what they were doing being crazy and fast-paced life. And do you see any changes from this?
I mean, I think so. I think we're gonna. I don't think we can. I was thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking when I was talking to a student of mine. I said, or like last week, I said to him, like, I think maybe when this is over, I'll change my life a little bit. You know, because I'm used to running and going from teaching to a gig to running all over the place, and I like that. You know, I really like that. It's fun because it's if you can keep busy as a musician, it's quite rewarding. But and then I'm thinking, like yesterday, I'm thinking I don't think it's possible that we can return to exactly the way it was. I mean, I think with the economy, with the problems with the economy, and this is a beautiful country where I live, but it's a third world country, and we're fragile. I mean, of the countries here in Central America, we're one of the least fragile because we have a good economy, but it's still a third world country that any day could end up being, in the same equilibrium as Nicaragua or something. I don't know if you guys know much about these countries here.
We don't know much. I've been feeling like the United States is kind of a banana republic lately, but that's another story. On a completely different subject, I'm really enjoying the fact that you have a little Spanish accent now.
It does leak in there a little bit.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's just what happens. And also, the way I talk is different because when here I'm speaking with people, maybe I wouldn't speak the same if I was hanging out with some musicians in the U.S., right? And so I've become like people. A lot of people have actually learned English studying music with me.
Really?
I have students. And I say to him, "Man, where did you learn how to speak English?" A good friend of mine, Oscar Molina, a piano player, and he said, "Man, I learned with you." And I was like, "What?" So I was, and it's just an effect. But it's nice. It's a different, speaking Spanish is different. And a lot of people here speak English because this is a very, pardon my French, but gringo influenced. Gringos are people from the States, right? And here they say it like it's a term of affection. But it's very influenced by tourism. And tourism makes a big bulk of our economy. So where I live, you wouldn't see someone from the US walking on the street. Maybe I might be one of the only people in my neighborhood. But in the beaches and the mountains, there's a lot of tourism. Like you were saying, your daughter came here, and it's famous here for yoga too. It's the really famous yoga camps here.
Yeah, it looks like the pictures I've seen just looks stunning, and hopefully we'll get down there someday, visit you, and mountains and the beaches and everything else. And so I was asking you about the jazz scene there, like. Is there a scene? Is it healthy? Do you compare it to like Denver scene, or what do you think?
It's on par with. I mean, we have here like 5 million people in the country, right? So if you look at a state of the size of 5 million people, it's on par for a good jazz state in the U.S. I mean, obviously it's not New York, it's not Chicago, it's not San Francisco maybe, but here we have a lot of young musicians playing, and the best thing here is we have a really good audience for jazz. We have an audience that's young. We have young people coming out. We have a lot of females coming to jazz concerts. We have a lot of people that aren't just students coming to jazz concerts, and we have a lot of musicians here. This country has a really good history with classical music. It's very, very rooted in classical music, the places that you can study. So we have that basis, but we have a lot of young people, especially where I teach at the La Universidad Nacional, which is the National University of Costa Rica. We have a really big interest in popular music. So it could be Latin music, it could be jazz, it could be rock or blues even. It's pretty wide open. The university is known for that.
We didn't have you play yet. Do you want to play something?
I don't actually have my horn here. I didn't know you were going to ask me that.
Oh, that's okay.
I totally forgot.
That's
that was a good. I do have two. Well, I have an album just came out today that I recorded on. But I have 2 new albums that'll be up on my Spotify this week. I just uploaded two discs. One of them is I recorded here with Patrick McDevitt and Alejandro when they came in January. And then another one is a live album I did with a pianist. So those will be on my Spotify. I think in a couple of days they'll be up with all the other music I have up there. But
Josh, can you send me those links and I'll post it when I post this video? Just
sure.
So people can get.
Yeah, the scene here, to answer to answer the question, the scene is really quite good. Before this all happened, I was playing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, steady gigs. And
Wow.
then Saturday I would fill in with something. And then sometimes we'd end up playing Sundays too. So I would be playing 5-6 nights a week. And some of the gigs here pay like the same as they pay in the US. And,
Yeah.
and so, but you think about that with the cost of living, maybe that's 5 times less, right?
Oh. That sounds like better than here.
Yeah, it ends up being, you know, it ends up being pretty good life. You know, in these countries, if a lawyer or a doctor makes $20,000 a year, that's like the kind of the upper echelon salary,
Wow.
right? And so you can live pretty comfortably with you know, less money. And actually, the jazz gigs here and the concerts and everything and the teaching pays on par with like a really good job. So it's pretty nice.
That's nice.
Uh-huh.
And I had texted you previous to this, and you say, "Oh, I'm going on for a hike or whatever." So, how close are you to the mountains and doing stuff like that? Beaches and mountains.
Uh-huh. Like where I live is called Heredia, and Heredia is kind of the base of the mountains. Basically, above us is a big mountain that's 65 miles long, and that's a volcano. So that volcano, to be up in that area is maybe 10 minutes in my car from that. And then to be in the Pacific, depends on traffic, but it could be an hour and 15 minutes to see the ocean. And then to be in the Caribbean, it depends on the traffic, but like 3 hours. So I'm kind of right in the middle of the country, and you can be in both beaches. I've seen both beaches in the same day before.
That's amazing.
Do you have any words of wisdom or encouragement, or do you want to say anything to the folks back here in Colorado who I'm sure will think about you often?
Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping in touch with everybody, trying to talk. I just talked with Bob yesterday for like an hour, but you know, I'm worried about all my friends and my family and everything. But I think, you know, as long as we, I don't know, follow the rules and stay inside and be really conscious of everything, hopefully we can get out of this quicker. It's weird here because, you know, here like I told you, we have 500 cases, but I read the news and I read about the US, so I feel like kind of paranoid, you know, even though I'm living here and have like a lot of the kind of effects of the, I guess, the pressure of what you guys are going through still, because my parents are there, and my parents live in Santa Barbara, California, and my brother lives in Los Angeles. So they're, both, you know, there's a lot of problems there too. So.
Well, I think what we should do, since we couldn't hear you play, is maybe we'll add a link to.
Okay, I can grab my horn real quick. It's right here. Let me grab it.
We got time. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll just talk amongst
ourselves.
Have some. So Pete, what have you been doing?
Well,
mostly recording Muse talks and editing
Muse talks,
movies.
getting some practicing in.
A lot of practicing. We've been getting. Pete is sounding very good. For those of you who are interested.
If you want to hire me in maybe 4 or 5 months,
yeah,
I think I'm gonna need that much more time. Yeah, I mean it's been a good thing, I think, overall.
It's a calmer life for sure.
Yeah.
There he is with the saxophone.
Hey, I bet those reeds play a lot better down there.
I bet they do.
They actually last a lot longer. This reed is like kind of petrified or something, but it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like
that is, yeah. I remember when we lived in the Bay Area, I just like the horn, the reeds, everything just, you know, played really well. So,
yeah, if you go to the beach and play here, the horn seals, all the pads seal. It's like play low, B flat, no problem. Yeah. Hey, I wanted to mention to you guys because I like I told you, I teach at the National University. I teach saxophone. So, you know, I studied classical music for 2 years when I first got into university. But now I'm having to go back and learn all the repertoires.
Oh, really?
Kicking my butt. Right now I'm working on Close. I don't know if you guys play that.
I love the Close. I played it for my graduate recital.
Crazy, right?
I love it. The most difficult thing I ever played, and I never performed it, was the Albright. Check out the Albright. Woo, dog.
Yeah.
Josh,
yeah?
Do you have plans to come back to the States this summer? Our summer?
You know, I was gonna come back for Telluride like I do every August, but we'll see if that happens. And I was supposed to I was talking with the people from Gifted Jazz. They invited me to do Charlie Parker with strings and on that trip too, but I don't know if those are gonna happen either.
Well, I want to invite you to play at the Muse too. If
thank you.
You could set something up, we book you in there and
Okay, that'd be great.
Section your choice, and you know. Anyway, just wanted to
Play
throw
some-
that out there.
Well, we get to hear Josh play. Yay!
All right.
Anything you want, man.
Okay, no requests.
No, anything you want.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful. Beautiful.
The thousands of people are applauding. You just have to pretend that you're hearing them right now.
Yeah.
So, hey, thank you so much, man. It's good to connect with you, and glad to see that you're doing so well. And we'll make more of an effort. I will, to stay in touch and see what's up and pick.
Hey, I saw a video of you guys playing with Brad too.
Oh yeah, our failed attempt, but
that was crazy.
Guys, I watched like the first 10 minutes that it worked, or 15. But you guys are sounding great. Claire, playing great drums. Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's come along. It's coming along.
Nice.
All right. So it'll be a few days before we upload this, but it's on YouTube called Muse Talks, and I'll throw it on Facebook too.
Okay. And my Spotify is just, I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll put it up there when we post it. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
So I stop recording now.